Hey guys, welcome back to Grandview Kids TV episode number 18. Now last week we talked about goodness and how we can be seen as good, doing good works in front of other people, as well as be seen by God as good because of what Jesus did. Now, this week I have some exciting news to share with you, so stick around at the end of the episode, I'll share that with you. But before we get there, I want to talk to you a little bit about the next fruit of the Spirit, and that's faithfulness. Now, if you don't know what faithfulness means or what it means to be faithful, it just means that you are reliable, you're unwavering, and you're trustworthy. When you say you're going to do something, it means you'll do it. You'll stay true to your word. You'll keep your promises. Now, you might have been hearing what all those things are that define faithfulness and been thinking, well, that fits God pretty well. And you're right, it does. Because God is faithful. In everything God does, He's faithful to His promises. He's faithful to us. And we can count on Him to keep His promises He's made to us. We can count on Him to keep His word and to be reliable in our lives. We can always lean on Him when we need help. And see, that's a little bit what it will look like for us as well. We can be faithful to God and our relationship to God, but we can also be faithful in our relationship to others. Just like a lot of the fruit of the Spirit, it works in both our relationship with God and with others. But with this one, it works in our relationship with God because we will seek to please Him. We will try not to sin. We'll do whatever we can to avoid sinning. Because to be faithful to God will be to stay true to Him. And because we want to please God, we will seek to be faithful and not sin against Him. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, it talks about how God is faithful. But it's telling us about how we will face temptations. Now, temptations are just things that Satan puts in our life trying to trip us up, trying to make us sin. But 1 Corinthians tells us, Paul says in his writings that no temptation has seized us. We don't see any temptation that is not common. But God is faithful. We can rely on God. He will not let Satan tempt us beyond what we can bear. See, any temptation Satan puts in our life, God allows him to put it there. For whatever reason, God has His purpose and His reasons for doing these things. And sometimes we don't understand it, but that's okay. Because we can rely on the fact that God is faithful. And God will be faithful. He won't let us be tempted beyond what we can handle. But with the temptation, He will also provide the way of escape, that you will be able to endure it. See, no matter how hard a temptation is that we face, we can rely on God's faithfulness, that there is a way out, that God has provided a way out, a way of escape, so we don't have to give in to that temptation. We can resist it, and we can count on God. We can pray to God and ask Him to help us resist it. And when we resist sin, that is one way we can be faithful to God, in our promise to God to try living for Him. But we can also be faithful in our life with people, with our siblings, our parents, our friends, whoever it might be. We can be faithful to them by keeping our word. If we make a promise, we can be faithful to stick to that promise. If we stick to the promise, we are being faithful. See, no matter how hard it might be to keep that promise, no matter how hard it might be to work on that relationship and help that relationship and be faithful, we can always rely on God and ask Him to help us be faithful in that relationship with siblings or whoever it might be. So that's all I have for you on faithfulness today. Remember that we can be faithful to others and to God because God is faithful to us. We can always count on God's faithfulness and ask Him to help us grow in our faithfulness as well. Now, I told you at the beginning of this episode that I have some exciting news for you. And that is that we are going to have a summer camp at Grandview for you. All right, for anyone from SK to grade 6, we're going to have this camp. It's going to be on August 24th to 28th. So right near the end of August, the last week of August. And it's going to be a half day just in the mornings, but it's going to be filled with some crafts and a lot of fun, some great activities, and some games that we can participate in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you there. Keep your eyes open for more details about it in the coming weeks, and I look forward to the fun we will have there.